And hello and welcome to Soul Radio USA's annual Christmas Day special. Now it's into 11th year. Today, I am privileged to have father and son, soul and R&B singers, Gene Chandler and Defrantz Forrest with me in the studio. Hello, Gene. Hello, Defrantz.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Steve.
Hi. Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And let me just say Happy New Year also.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, get them in there. Right, I tell you what we're going to do, because it's a double one. We'll start having a chat with Gene first, and then we'll have a chat with you, dear friends, okay, mate? And we'll all have a big chin bag afterwards. All right. So, Gene.
Yes, sir.
Just a quick back one for you. Where were you born, and who were your influences in music?
Chicago, Illinois, and that was Pookie Hudson and Brooke Benton.
Oh, major guys. I love Brooke Benton.
Pookie Hudson of the Spaniards, I should say.
Yeah. Now, it all started back, I can't remember what year it was, but can you inform our listeners more about the group, the Duques?
The Duques?
Duques, yeah, Duques.
Duques. The Duques was the first group that I was with and that I recorded with. They were with me on Duke of Earl. We actually did it as a group, but the promoters for the record didn't want them out there with the Duke, so they just gave it to me,
right,
to go with it.
Yeah,
and I went with it, and it became a hit, of course.
Yeah, so you joined the Duques just as a singer, then you went on to be the lead singer. Is that correct?
Well, I was the lead singer. I went to the service. I came home from the service, and they had a recording contract that they had just gotten, and the people wanted to hear me. They had heard the other lead singer that they chose the group for, and they liked him. So they wanted to hear what I sound like. And they did. They chose me, and we were back together. And our first record we released, though, was called Night Owl.
Yes, I know that track. And we'll be playing that later on.
Yeah, but that particular, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Gene.
But that particular group, they wanted me to leave and go off as a single. We had the same manager, and they wanted me to go off and do a single, and that single was the Duke of Earl.
Yeah. Now that brings us nicely to the next question. All right. In '62, what inspired you or made you go out and purchase the trademark cape, monocle, and top hat?
I can't show it to you because then it'll be recorded, and I've never allowed it to be recorded.
Oh, not about that.
But it was what I'm getting ready to say. No, but it's a picture.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a negative. I was new in the business, of course, and so they sent me to do the cover for the album, the pictures. And they came up with this idea that I should be dressed like one of the Minutemen back in, George Washington days?
Oh my God.
They had me standing up there for the cover with white stockings that came up to my knees. And then the pants started at the knees and came up. A bloused shirt with a short jacket. And at one point they thought about putting a gray wig on my head. Now, me being a new artist, I thought this probably was the correct thing to do. But the more I thought about it, I said, this is not the way I want to look as a Duke. But and then they had me to take the triangle hat they gave me and hold it in front of me like Napoleon had his hand in. And I was standing looking sort of Edwardian, So I asked them to let me see the negative before I took another picture. They showed me the negative. I snatched it and said, not gonna happen. They called the record company. The record company got on the phone with me. They went round and round. I ended up, rather than go through all the words that were said between us, I said, well, I'm going home. So y'all need to either get it together or forget it. you know.
Uh-huh.
But what were they going to do? I was the Duke of Earl.
Exactly.
So they said, okay, well, what do you want? I said, I want to be a modern Duke. Top hat, cane, and cape, what you see on the album cover, okay?
And that was,
and they said, okay, fine. After it was done and it was all over with, they agreed that that was the best way to go because I'm going for the future.
yeah.
And that's what I picked out to wear to go on stage to sing the song was the top hat, cape, and cane. So that's what I ended with, the top hat, cape, and cane, not the whole outfit.
Nice.
When I started out, I had the whole outfit on, but that was sort of clumsy like. And so in order for me to change clothes each time, I settled for the top hat, cape, and cane.
That's brilliant concept, brilliant PR, actually brilliant PR. How did you get your first record deal?
I'm sorry, say that again.
How did you get your first main recording record deal? How did it come about?
Oh, it's like I said, it started off. They already had a contract.
All right, yeah.
People. Right. And when I came home, they wanted to hear me. So they already had a contract deal. But the VJ gave them money to record for one of the songs. And that song was Night Owl.
Yeah.
They wanted to hear what it sounded like. It was recorded in the same session with Duke of Earl.
Right.
And after they heard it, the people who was going to do the promotion on it decided they didn't want the Duke, they wanted Night Owl. VJ heard the entire session.
Yeah.
And they say, well, who got the record, Duke of Earl? They said they turned it down. They say, can we have it? So that's how VJ got Night Owl. Duke of Earl.
Duke of Earl. Just one quick one before I bring in Defrantz. He's sitting there patiently having a giggle now. But quick one for you. How did you become involved with Eric Clapton's Knocking on Heaven's Door album in 1974? Gene?
You talk to me?
Yeah. So I was going to bring in Defrantz after this one. How did you get involved with Eric Clapton's Knocking on Heaven's Door album in 1974?
As far as I know, I wasn't involved.
Oh, right. I'm good. There you go. There's the first blooper of the new year. Oh, I
thought it was April, like April Fool.
Right, there's April Fool. All right, okay. Anyway, right.
April 1st, April Fool.
I'll do a quick one. I'll do a quick change here. Gene, you've covered 4 genres of music, all the way from doo-wop, rhythm and blues, soul, and disco. Do you have a favorite one out of that lot, Gene, or do you like all of them?
Yeah, I'm asked that question out of favor. It's very difficult because I would say 75% of the songs I done, it was a favorite. Now, in the very first album, we were scrambling to get tunes in there. So there was a lot of tunes I put in there that I might not have if we wasn't rushing to get that particular record out. But of course, Duke of Earl. Then there's Rainbow. Well, that's a significant song due to the fact that I had a hit off it 3 times with me doing the song.
Yeah.
And I don't think no other artist has ever done their own song 3 different times and it was a hit each time.
Yeah.
In 1963, when the album first came out, it was a hit, the Rainbow.
Yeah.
Then in 1965, they caught my live show on stage at the Regal Theater in Chicago for a live album. And of course, the performance on Rainbow was in there. They called me down to the office and they said, listen, in this live album, you got to hear how the audience is reacting and how the girls are saying you cool and they're screaming and what have you on the song Rainbow. So make a long story short, they decided to re-release it.
Yeah.
Live 65 Part 2.
Yeah.
And boom, the record took off again, the live version.
Brilliant.
So now in 1980, 2 years prior to that, we had decided all of the oldies from the 60s to pick something to put in each new album.
Yeah.
And in 1980, they decided to come back with Rainbow. So we did what you call the live version in the studio with no audience, of course. And I didn't know they was going to entitle the album. The album Rainbow 80, but they did. I didn't know it until maybe a few days before they started printing up the album.
Uh-huh.
And they didn't want me to fight with that one. But I went along with it. Rainbow 80 was the title of the album. So of course, this is 15 years later from 65, and there were jocks who weren't there in the beginning, young guys, and they were new jocks and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
They put the needle on Rainbow 80 and bang, that sucker took off again.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely brilliant.
The studio version of the live version. So I've been very blessed and to be able to have a career like that, where I had one song that was good for me 3 different times.
3 different times. Right. I'm going to bring in Defrantz now. Hello, Defrantz. How are you doing,
Hi.
mate?
Good. How are you?
I'm brilliant, mate. I'm brilliant. So I gather, right, how can I do this? Right. I tell you what, how was it like for you growing up with your dad being like in the Billboard charts all the time? What was it like? You know, was it influential? And then did you go to his concerts and stuff like that? What was it like growing up with your dad being so?
Yeah, it was fantastic. I remember when he took me on stage at the Regal Theater in Chicago, and and he said, "This is my son," and everybody screamed, clapped, and I seen all the lights.
Uh-huh.
And so it was a great experience for me.
How old were you then?
That I had a legend of a dad, in my life. I thank God for that every day.
And how old were you when that happened?
Oh man, I probably was about 5.
5. So when did you start performing and singing properly, professionally by yourself? Because I gather your dad was a major influence in you joining the music industry, wasn't he?
Yes, professionally it started in 94.
Uh-huh. But you have done some session work.
Yeah, I was doing session work, and then I was signed with Motown.
Yeah.
And I started recording with the Temptations and and I did some sessions for other people, whether it was reggae or pop or R&B, a singer sings. So
yeah, and
that's when I started getting paid to sing.
What I'm going to do, right, before we start playing the music and chat more in depth with your career, Defrantz, and also have another quick chat with Gene, is between you both, can you share any funny stories with our listeners of things that have happened with you both while on stage or while performing? With
funny thing.
What about you, Gene? Can you think of something?
Well,
no, because I didn't do funny things when I performed. I was a singer, not a comedian. Okay.
Oh no.
But I mean, I know there are at times things happen that are funny that you didn't intend to happen and that kind of thing. I guess the funniest thing might have been the fact that when I first started, we were wearing those gabardine pants and they were really tight and showing everything. And I had a call from the front office wanted me to come up. And they said there were some parents that were complaining about the tightness and showing my private part.
Oh my goodness.
So they made a suggestion. Of course, they've been in the business much longer than I had. They made a suggestion that I get a jockey strap. and instead of just wearing my regular boxer shorts, I guess you would call it.
Well,
and then that did the trick. Okay, so everything was fine after that.
One time I was on stage and I guess I bought some underwear and it was the wrong size. And I was singing on stage and all of a sudden I felt my underwear sliding down.
Oh my God.
Sliding down. And I'm singing, nobody knows it because you can't see through my pants. So my underwear is sliding down. So when we had our first break, I went to the restroom and I pinned it tighter and went back and finished the show.
Who in the hell pin up their shorts? That would have been funny if they had known that, okay?
Right.
Oh, anyway, all the secrets are out. Right, I tell you what. on that note, guys, we're gonna have a quick break and we're gonna play some music. All right, lads.
Okay.
Right, how's that going, lads? You're okay now? You happy with this? Yeah.
Yeah, everything's fine on this end.
It's fine.
Oh, great stuff. Right, we'll go straight into the second part, and we'll try not to laugh. But it's brilliant. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and welcome back. Yes, hi guys, welcome back, guys. How you doing? You all right?
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
And you haven't got your pants pinned, have you, Defrantz? No.
Say it again.
You haven't got Defrantz hasn't got his pants pinned at this moment.
No. I got the right size.
Defrantz, do you have a big enough pen?
Oh, man. Yes, sir.
Right. No. Defrantz. Now I've known you for a lot of years, and we met way back at I think it was the UBN network in Hollywood.
Yes.
Tell me how you got involved with Jim Gilstrap and the formation of the New Originals.
Well, actually, I owe this to my dad because he invited me to hang out with him backstage at the Dolby Theater in Hollywood, California.
Uh-huh.
And so a member of the Originals, Freddie Gorman, knew I was there with my dad. So he told his son, he said, Dylan Gorman, to go meet Gene Chandler's son in Gene's dressing room.
Uh-huh.
And so he came down to meet me, and he said, I heard you could sing. And so we went down to the piano, down where the piano was, and he started playing, and I started singing. He said, man, yeah, they're right, you can sing. I said, man, you can play. And so I went back, and so we exchanged numbers and everything. And I went back to my dad's dressing room. And then one day I was managing a clothing store in Pasadena, California. He came to see me to drop off a CD of a song I was supposed to sing at church. And he wanted to make sure I had the right music. And then he said, can I talk to you outside for a second? I said, yes. And then he said, man, Alan Beck, Pacific Concert Group, they want to put the group, want to take the group out on tour again. But one of our members is sick, which is Walter Gaines. He said, and we need somebody to take his place. Would you like to do that? Wow. I said, what do I like to do? I said, yes, I would. I would like to do that. I was excited about it. And then we start rehearsing.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, we were on tour.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history. Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah. As it came up forward from that, you did some work with, is it Vanguard?
Yeah, Vanguard, the Black Light.
Yeah. When was that released last? Was that released last year that you took? Because I've lost.
Yes, it was.
Covered. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
And this current moment in time, do you want to tell our listeners about your new track and your Christmas track? Now, what I'd like to know about it is, why did you choose this particular track for your Christmas song? All right, which is entitled The Christmas Song, and is there a story behind it?
Well, I always loved this song. It's a classic song by Nat King Cole, and I love the song. And last year, everybody was at home during Christmas, and we were doing Zoom calls with the families. Yeah. And so they said, Defrantz, can you sing something for us, And I said, sure. And so I started going through tracks. I said, I'll sing the Christmas song. Mm-hmm. And I sang it. And the key that was in, I was singing it, and I was like, okay, I was singing it low. I said, I don't like it there. And so I sang it higher in C. Uh-huh. And I said, oh, wow, I like this. And I kept singing it and kept singing it. I said, wow, I hit that note, hit that. I said, oh, I like this, And then somebody was doing a television show, and they said, well, we need some people for our television show. And so I said, well, let me go ahead. And so I called Jim, and I said, Jim, I need to do a song for the television show, and I want to do the Christmas song. I think it's a beautiful song. And he said, sure, come on, I'll set everything up. Mm-hmm. So we went over to Jim's house. He called it his grandson over, and who co-produced it. And then I called Janice Murdoch to come over to videotape it.
Yeah.
And the song came out great.
Yeah.
And and I was like, should I sing a little lower? He said, Jim's like, no, keep it right there. For what? Keep it right there.
Yeah, yeah.
And so what you hear is the end result of that, of what we did.
It's brilliant.
And I'm grateful for everybody that had something to do with that.
Yeah.
And I want to thank Dad again for inviting me down to the Dolby Theater. And that's when I met the originals.
So the future, are you and the new originals going to release tracks generally, or are you still just going to go around doing concerts?
I was talking to Hank. I said I wanted to put something together because the Christmas song came out so great. I said, Hank, we need to do something also with the group. And so we talked about it. So now we just got to put it together.
Yeah. Now, we were talking about something earlier as well, weren't we? A couple of weeks ago about one of your dad's tracks.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Can we talk about it, or shall we keep that secret for now? Shall we keep that secret for now?
Can we keep it secret or talk about it?
It's up to you, mate. Shall we talk about it or what? It's up to you.
Are you talking to me?
No.
Yes.
No. Oh, right. Sorry.
So listen. My dad did a great song. I'll tell you this. Right. I had the flu one day, and I turned the TV on. I think it was Bounce TV, Soul Train. And guess who was on the TV? My dad. He was doing an interview with Don Cornelius, and he was so smooth. The way he talked, the way they talked to each other, and the way they move, and the way and they were joking, and then my dad, my dad's, we know him for being smooth and the ladies' man. And then all of a sudden, this song called "Get Down" came on.
Yeah. And
I saw my dad start to dance. I saw him dance. Oh my God, Steve, I was not sick anymore. When I saw him dance and the way he was making the people feel, it made me feel good. I jumped out the bed and I started dancing with him. I'm in the bedroom, but I'm dancing, and I wasn't sick anymore. And I said, so one day I said, wonder if I can make people feel like that, And so I decided I wanted to cover his song "Get Down."
And I do believe you should do that. You should go ahead and do it, I think. What do you think, Gene?
Well, I think he should do whatever he thinks he can do. And if he thinks it can be a hit, it can be a hit. My concern is when he saw me on television dancing and he jumped out of bed, did he have his shorts pinned up?
If he hadn't, it would have been a hell of a shock.
I'm sorry.
I'll get you. Somebody gonna get.
I'm glad we didn't have Zoom at that time. Okay.
Right, guys, we're going to have to sort of wrap this up. I tell you what, we're going to have to do this, do an interview with you both. All right, we're going to have to do this again sometime. But we're going to have to wrap it up. So before I go, before we all leave each other, do you have any social media that people can follow you on? Yourself, first of all, Defrantz.
Yes, I'm on Facebook under Defrantz Forrest. That's DEF, capital F, RANTZ.
Yep.
Forrest, FORREST, Defrantz Forrest. My Instagram is under Defrantz Forrest. Yes.
Right. And Gene, if people want to follow your career, because I'll have loads of listeners who actually wouldn't have heard of your music yet. You know what I mean? Or because I know for a fact that 4 of your tracks, right, that you released in the 60s are still getting played here in the UK on the Northern Soul scene. Whose phone is that?
Your exact I'm sorry, the phone is
all right, now taking the bother.
But your exact question is,
I mean, can people follow you somehow? Like, how can they follow you?
No, that's why I'm not on social media.
You're not on social media, no. All right. Okay.
And that's the reason why. I mean, I get enough emails and Texas and things of that nature, that to join that, I'd be almost crazy, you know, because I happen to be the businessman in the family. You know,
right. By the way,
I got real estate all across the country. I got barbershops. I got different things. So I have so many things to do. I don't have time to be on social media.
Right. But did you know that most of your tracks, that ones that you've released before, like on the other different labels like Champion and things like that, they are still being played on the Northern Soul scene today, and they are still massive hits.
Yeah, I know.
Mr. Big Shot, it's just massively big. But I thought I'd just let you know that. Right, guys. So we're going to have to wrap it up because I do believe Christmas dinner's calling. So all I can say, lads, is it's been brilliant chatting with you both. We will do it again when we have more time, and we'll go more in depth on the pin pants and the spandex and everything else. And I'd like to take this time out to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you and all of your family. Thanks for joining us, guys.
And thank you, and the same to you.
Thank you. Thank you, same to you.
Cheers, guys. Many thanks.
All righty. Where rain, a garden.
You've got a brilliant voice, Gene.
Huh?
You've got a brilliant voice.
Well, it's about gone. I haven't used it in a couple of years.
I know you should, man. You should.
Well, yeah, listen, I'm retired. And it was hard enough to retire. But I had set that goal decades ago.
Yeah.
Or when I wasn't going to be on stage. And thank God I was in position to do that. And so I cut it loose. But in any event, like I say, the hardest thing was to cut loose, especially because of the fans.
Yeah.
You know, I'll explain that when we get on the air.
Yeah, sure. Right, Defrantz, are you with us?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, about bloody time.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Right on.
Right, we're going to go straight into it, okay?
Okay.
I've lost my bloody questions now. Hang on.